Howdy folks, my name's Alex, otherwise known as For the Zine. Welcome to episode 54 of the Churns Digest. As always, we'll start with our disclaimer. I'm not a financial or tax advisor. This is not financial or tax advice. This is for entertainment purposes only, but please enjoy. Shout out to my brother's band, no longer Sweaty Lemon, but Heavy Lemon. They're going through some band member changes and another hitting the studio pretty frequently, so I think we should get some new music from them probably in the new year. So keep an eye out for that. I'll definitely feature it here, probably some outro music. For the Patreon, we got some shout outs. As always, shout out Kung Fuer, Cleed, Dion, Erica, and Shuhui for their contributions to the Cleed tier. Appreciate you a lot. And welcome to Justin and Kyle as new members of the Patreon. We have some stuff in this episode that are either Patreon exclusives or lightning deals, and I'll call those out where applicable. Anything that's like a Patreon exclusive is just like source material. I'll talk about it in the episode, but I spent some time and made some spreadsheets that are Patreon exclusive, and the Discord is going well as well. Cleed's pretty active in there, as well as some other community members sparking some conversation. I like chatting in there. I share some deals as well. Like during Black Friday, I shared some stuff in there that I thought was interesting. I didn't go too ham. I know some other churning or personal finance podcasts out there went pretty heavily into the Black Friday stuff, but I'm not going to dive super deep into here. Some other admin stuff. I have a $50 Chase Amazon referral that came in. I'm not sure who used it, but if you did, shout out to you. Thanks for using my link. Got me $50 on Amazon. And the show is now on Fountain. I didn't know Fountain was a podcasting site, but since I published to Patreon, or since I published to Spotify Podcast, which is now Spotify Creators, it just publishes it to RCS or RSS, I think it is. And then any podcast platform out there can just pull it in. So if you prefer listening on Fountain, I'm on Fountain. I personally use Pocket Cast. I like their app on Android. I think that's it for admin stuff, so we'll dive into it here. We got a lot to cover. First up here, we have an article from MacRumors, Apple Pay to be treated like a bank with federal scrutiny in the United States. Now, this came out on November 21st, so a little bit before all the new political announcements with some shaking up in the CFPB, as well as I forget what the other bureau is, but other appointments by soon-to-be president. Not going to get political in this podcast, but just some food for thought, some stuff that may be lingering that may not get enacted by CFPB. I know that the new party has spoke about wanting to be less restrictive for banking in general, so this might not come to fruition, but the CFPB announced today that effective 30 days after its publication in the Federal Register, digital payment platform processing over 50 million annual transactions in the United States dollars will be subject to federal supervision. Apple Pay is one of the most widely used digital wallets in the United States and falls squarely within this threshold. The new rule will grant the CFPB power to retroactively examine Apple Pay's compliance with federal consumer finance laws, including privacy protection, fraud prevention, and account stability. I'm curious to see what this really means, because Apple Pay is just a means for you to pay for things. It doesn't store what fraud prevention could Apple Pay provide? I mean, other than using NFC, which has time of transaction access tokens, which from what I'm aware of is the safest way to pay with a credit card. The number that's generated is a unique number just for that transaction and can only be used once, so you can't skim it as far as I know. So I'm curious to see what exactly is going to come of this, but keep an eye on it. Next, we have a post shared by Dr. Credit that you can purchase Heineken and $175 in groceries and get $50 back. So this is eligible until the end of January and good in a whole slew of states, not including New Jersey. And I was in New Jersey when this came out on November 22nd, so I didn't go for this, but I personally like Heineken. So, I mean, getting $50 off of $175 worth of groceries, this came out just around Thanksgiving, so this would have been great for them. But it's still active and you can still take advantage of this. You just have to purchase a 24 pack of Heineken, it looks like, and you can get $50 back when you also spend $175 in that grocery trip. I don't know if I think of the total purchase at the grocery store has to be $170 or more. $175 or more. Oh no. Purchase 2 18-packs or one 24-pack of Heineken Original and $175 worth of groceries and get a $50 rebate. So you get the Heineken for free and then some discount on your groceries. Not bad if you like Heineken. Next, we have an announcement that I got in my email. So I have an Elon Max Cash Preferred card, which is issued through Workers Federal Credit Union, which is really issued through Elon. Elon is like the parent company that also owns U.S. Bank. So this is very reminiscent of the U.S. Bank Cash Plus card, but this is a non-U.S. Bank branded Max Cash Preferred card. And they announced that they're removing the 2% category. I wrote down 1% in my show notes. So the card currently offers 5% on 2 of your top categories. And I like the Elon Max Cash offering because it offers things like recreation as well as entertainment as categories, while the US Bank Cash Plus card it used to offer that broader category, but it recently changed within the past few years. So I think that like movie theaters is one of them now. They're more restrictive, and this is a much looser category. But in addition to that, they give you a 2% category that you can choose, and that includes things like grocery stores and supermarkets, gas stations and EV stations, wholesale clubs, discount stores, super centers. But previously you could choose that for 2%, and already 2% is not great. You can get that way better than that elsewhere. And they're discontinuing that, and now we'll be starting at 1% for those categories effective April 22nd. So not really big news, but figured I'd touch upon it because it does impact something that I use pretty frequently. I use that card exclusively for gym memberships, as well as it also has utilities on it as a 5% category, but I use my Future debit card for that to get 10% on my Arcadia bill, which I've definitely detailed in the previous episode. I can link it in the show notes. Next, we have a new cardless card announced. It's the cardless, there's an increase sign-up bonus. So the cardless Avianca cards are increasing their miles bonus to 120,000 miles. Cardless is offering increased bonuses on the Avianca cards. Cardless Avianca, 50,000 miles after spending 3,000 in the first 90. The Avianca Elite is 80,000 miles when you spend 4,500 in the first 90, or 40,000 miles when you spend $25,000 in the first year. Keep in mind that the cardless Avianca card is $100 annual fee, and the Avianca Elite is $250 fee. These are an additional 20,000 miles compared to the launch, and an additional 10,000 on the basic. The Elite is an extra 20,000. Dr. Credit thinks that this is worthy to put on their best credit card bonuses, but something you should definitely know is that you can only have one cardless card per lifetime. You can't close the card and try opening it again. As far as I am aware, you can only have one card ever. So I have the Boston Celtics card, which I'm grandfathered in for 4% on I think it's 4% on restaurants and 7% on rideshare, but I now get that definitely beaten elsewhere with Uber gift cards. But it said that I can't open another one of these cards. And I said that I can't get it on my collection of debit cards or collection of card images. So if you have it, definitely share it. All right, next we have U.S. Bank rewards to expire after 12 months of inactivity. U.S. Bank sent out an email on their personal and business cards. This is from Dr. Credit, indicating the rewards will expire 12 months after inactivity. The change will go into effect April 14th, 2025 and onward. Cash rewards will not expire as long as you keep your account active. To keep your account active, simply make a purchase, maintain a balance, or redeem rewards. Cash rewards will expire if there is no activity in 12 cycles. Not really important if you use the card at least somewhat frequently. So just keep an eye on that. Next are some successful bank account bonuses that I had this month. So I've been talking about my Citi checking sign-up bonus. That for me was an offering for depositing $45 depositing $10,000 within 45 days of account opening and keeping that for 45 days and earning a $400 bonus. So for me, I opened the account on September 4th. I deposited $10,050 on October 16th, which is within that 45-day window. That's like 42 days. And then December 12th, 2024, I received my interest adjustment checking $400 reward credit. I do have to actually look up for something real quick. I went updated my data points. They're in the show notes shared on Dr. Credit and on Reddit. But my dates for Citi should also include on December 9th. I withdrew my $10,000. So since I only had to hold it for 45 days, I detailed this on, I think, the last episode. I'm also going for an American Express $350 savings bonus where you deposit $25,000, keep it there for, I think, 60 days or 90 days. It's until February, so that looks like 60 days to receive $350. And their APY is paying at 4%, so there's pretty great returns on that. But I wanted to use this $10,000 that I had locked up at Citi, and there was a good overlap of like 3 days where I was able to take it out of Citi, push it over to American Express to satisfy American Express, and to have satisfied Citi and no longer leave funds in there because the Citi checking account doesn't earn interest. So those were both successful. I say both. I didn't say the first one. That was the Citi bonus that paid out really nicely. And the next one was a Langley sign-up bonus. So Langley Federal Credit Union, I think it's Langley Credit Union. I don't know if there's federal in the name. Dr. Credit has it listed as Virginia only, but it's actually available nationwide. It's a $100 sign-up bonus, but there's also a stackable $50 referral. The $100 sign-up bonus, I don't believe, had a code that I had to put in, but the referral, you had to click through a referral link, which I did, but as you'll see in my data points, I didn't get the referral bonus. But I opened the account on November 25th of this year. They do allow credit card funding. It's up to, let me see if I can find it. The only data point I'm seeing is from Gadget on November 4th saying there's no CC funding, but they offer debit card funding apparently. And someone tried putting their credit card into the field and it was denied. I tried to put in, I think, a credit card and it was also denied. And they just had me do ACH in, so I didn't get anything on that. But I opened the account, funded it with $110, waited for the debit card to arrive because the requirements for this are for the regular sign-up bonus. I think it's just one debit card transaction, and the referral, it's 10, and they don't specify a minimum. So when I received the debit card on December 7th, which is like around 2 weeks after I opened the account, I made 10 around $1 Cash App loads. So I literally just put my debit card into Cash App and just did that 10 times and funded it by like $1 and a few cents just immediately on the same day. And then December 16th, so like a week and a half later, I got my $100 available in my Cashback Plus account. So like in their login, they have a Cashback Plus section, and in there is where the funds were. So I've gone ahead and transferred that out. Sign-up bonuses are looking pretty great for this year. For me, for the total year, I still have one that might hit. I'm waiting for a Wings Credit Union. I don't think it's going to work though, because in their terms, it said that you needed to keep your direct deposit active when the bonus was going to post, and I turned off my direct deposit because I forgot about that requirement. So that's a missing $400. I'm going to wait till the end of the year, and if it doesn't come in, maybe I'll contact them, see if I can get anything. So that's why I'm not sharing the total numbers yet, but I'll definitely share that in the next episode come January. All right, next, someone shared on our churning on a slow day about the IHG and Chase negotiations. Nothing super interesting here, but if you're interested in how these big companies determine their contracts and make an extension, but essentially they negotiated a contract extension that'll extend their co-brand agreement through 2036. I'm not going to bore you through this business stuff, but Chase and IGH are remaining friends. All right, next I saw some reports on Reddit for a targeted Venmo credit card offer, that is. 6% on your tap category is great. There's so many reasons to celebrate this season, including 3% bonus cash back offer with your Venmo credit card through December 22nd, which which is still going on. You can earn 6% on your top eligible spend categories, 5% on the next, and 4% on all other purchases with your Venmo card. Great offering if you're targeted. I don't have the Venmo card. I know that their 3% works at wholesale clubs. They consider those groceries. So if you have it, great little card that I use. Next, we have a post from Miles Earn and Burn that I thought was a good write-up. They did a really great write-up on how triple dipping works. So I've often seen referred on Dr. Credit and on various other forums about how you can triple dip on certain credit cards. And I've kind of had like a general idea of how those work, but I've never fully understood or seen it written out in a good way. But Miles Earn and Burn does a great job of writing it up. So they basically, it boils down to the first part of their card, of their post. It says, combined, that means December is often the best time of year to get your card because your first statement is usually issued 30 days after getting a card. Your annual fee posts on the 12th statement around 360 plus 30 days after opening. Most issuers give you an annual fee refund if you request within 30 days of posting, pushing that out to 360 plus 30 days. So 12 statements will straddle 3 calendar years. The end of 2024 if you apply in December, and then all of 2025, and then the start of 2026 because you have that extra 30-day window to cancel the card. So there's plenty of cards that are really great for this. The American Express Platinum has a bunch of offerings you can take advantage of here. There's some Citi cards, some Chase cards. And it looks like Bank of America is iffy, not guaranteed you get the fee refunded. And Capital One is guaranteed that you will not get it refunded. So that's good to know. And there was another write-up that did a good job of explaining it. I've posted it in the show notes as well, but this is on Reddit. They just say that if you apply for it now, you can take advantage of the calendar year credits 3 times when you apply. For paying for one annual fee. Once from now until the end of this year, one for all of next year, and then one for January, and then 30 days after your annual fee posts. Great for American Express triple dips. Next, speaking of CFPB, there's some lingering articles around, this one's from the Washington Post, that's hinting at the CFPB going away. Elon Musk wants to delete federal financial watchdogs as Doge begins work. Again, I'm not going to get into politics here, but I personally feel that the CFPB is a very important legislative body, so it makes these banks take action. It's what takes action against these banks when they are not doing things in consumers' interests, like they've lowered certain fees, which hasn't gone into effect yet. So I'm curious to see what happens there. They just recently made another announcement about, I forget, it was some other lowering fees. I think it was overdraft fees. But with the new administration coming in, I don't know what's going to happen with that. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. Next, we have a few Patreon exclusive source materials. So I had some downtime and my car insurance was coming due. So I wanted to go through and do some breakdowns of my best way of paying for my car insurance. I first went and shopped around. I currently use Progressive, and from what I see, it's the best rate I can get. For 6 months, it comes out to $734. So that comes out to like $1,400 a year. I have an older Jeep Cherokee from 2014. I live in kind of an inner city, like just outside of Boston. So I street park. Not great for insurance reasons. I don't have any dings on my driving portfolio either, so I think it's just the going rate. I haven't gone through an insurance broker. I just did like direct online, and it seemed like the offering's pretty good. But I wanted to see what my best way of paying off these various insurances were. So the premium was $734. I had an offer at my American Express Platinum card where I can get 5% back on insurance payments up to $20. So for that, if I put the whole charge on my American Express Platinum, it would save me $27.34, which would be an effective 3.72%. If I put it all on my Bank of America Premium Rewards Elite card, which earns 2.25% on everything, it would be cash back total of $16.52, which would be obviously 2.25% cash back. I could use the Chase Freedom Flex Q4 category of PayPal because Progressive takes PayPal and I can check out via PayPal. So what goes on there is you can split your transactions. You can choose 2 cards to pay with. So I wound up going with this route, but then realized after I made the purchase, there's a slightly more optimal way for me to do this. But this came out to an effective 5% cash back because I paid for it all via PayPal. The reason why I split the cards was because one of my Chase Freedom was close to its 5% limit, so I used the rest of it, and then I put the rest of it on my Chase Freedom Flex. But a better purchase that I should have done was to max out the 5% cash back at my American Express Platinum card up to $20, which would have been putting $400 on that because I would earn the additional 1% the card already earns, and then put the rest on my Chase Freedom. So that would have gotten me an effective $24 back, which is effective 6% cash back. That's incorrect. It would have been effective $40.70 cash back, which would have 5.54% cash back. So a combination of the two would have been the best. In reality, it's would have only saved me an extra $4, so it's really not going to break any banks, but I hate leaving free money on the table. I don't know, there's something about it that irks me. So kind of knowing I did that in suboptimally grinds my gears, but at the end of the day, $4 is really not worth anything to get worked up over. So if you're interested in seeing the actual breakdown on the spreadsheet, that's on the Patreon. You can always just join for a month and then cancel if you want to just look at it. There's nothing stopping you from doing that. And then in addition, another Patreon exclusive is I have a tracker that tracks my American Express Platinum value that I've gotten to the card. So I've tracked various things like the annual fee expense, the referrals I've gotten, the sign-on bonuses that I got, the credits such as Uber credit, Walmart Plus credits, Clear credits, even though I don't really consider Clear worth that, so I should really reduce it from the value added, and I can comment on it here. Things like getting the streaming credit every month for $20. I've gotten things like Hulu and Disney and Max. I've gotten the Wall Street Journal monthly, Peacock. I got the Washington Post once. You also get United Travel Banks. You get $200 for some free travel. I got $200 for the hotel collection. You get a $50 twice annual Saks off fifth credit. Some various American Express offers. So after all that, my value, including the annual fee and including the sign-up bonus and referrals that I've received, this card netted me $2,392.65. That's including the removal of the annual fee. So that's not super relevant. I don't like that number because I can get a sign-up bonus elsewhere, so that isn't telling me if the American Express Platinum is worth keeping after the first annual fee. So if I remove the referrals and I remove the sign-up bonus, all the credits that I got on this card amount to, after removing the annual fee, amount to $412.65. Let me make sure this number is still correct. Aha, good thing I checked. I forgot to deduct the annual fee. So taking into account the annual fee, removing the referrals, and removing the sign-on bonus that I got, the card netted me a negative $282. So the card cost me $283, excluding referrals and the sign-on bonus. So I would not say that this card is worth it for me personally. I get a lot of these benefits elsewhere, like 5X on travel. I get my VentureX. I'm really going to start using my Premium Rewards Elite card. I think I'm going to cancel my VentureX, but I'm definitely not going to keep this card around. So as I originally thought, my American Express experience is simply just going to be going in, getting the bucks, and running away. And again, if you're interested in seeing this breakdown, it's available on the Patreon. All right, next, no, never mind. Synchrony Cathay Pacific Visa credit card is no longer accepting new applicants. Synchrony has stopped accepting applicants for this card. They said this card has never been super attractive due to the relatively low sign-up bonus of a high of 65 miles publicly or 90,000 miles targeted. This was shared by Dr. Credit. Just thought it was noteworthy. Next, we've got The US Bank Infinite Refresh, it increases the annual fee and there's new benefits. So the annual fee is going from $250 to $500. Expanded trip cancellation and trip interruption include hotels, car rentals, and more, in addition to airfare. Now open table Visa dining collection, which I don't really think that that just gives you like access to certain restaurants. Higher global entry TSA pre fee credit from $100 to $120, so it just covers it as it actually should. 2x on groceries and select digital entertainment, newspaper, and cable TVs. No more 2x on gas. And you still get Gig Sky, one annual complimentary 5 gigabyte 30-day global data roaming plan per cardholder. A $500 annual credit is pretty crazy. It comes with a $500 annual credit. Sorry. Airline fee credit increases from $250 to $500. It works on apparently things like the Amazon Prime membership fees, airport lounge memberships, and it gets unlocked when you spend $25,000 in a card in a year. The annual fee is going from $495 to $650. Excuse me. This is effective January 1st, 2025. That's a crazy fee to attach to a card. I mean, if you can use that total $500 and use the TSA pre, that comes out to a net $30 annual fee. And then if you value the Gig Sky at anything, that's not too bad. Oh, I'm missing things here. So there's the annual fee, the airline fee credit is $500 annually. Then if you spend $25,000 in the card, you get an extra $500 credit that works on certain memberships. So if you use both, you'll definitely net rewards cash back. You'll net everything over the $650 annual fee. The card generally offers 5x on all travel categories. So if you just want a one-stop shop travel category, travel card that has a bunch of coupons you got to use, not a bad card for you. Also, I never really see, this isn't US Bank, this is UBS Visa Infinite, which doesn't get a lot of coverage anywhere, honestly. I honestly hadn't heard about this card, or really the bank. I guess I've probably seen them around, but definitely interesting offerings coming from them. Next, we had a lightning deal that's expired now, but just slightly worse. Let me sign in here. The Uber gift cards at Costco normally go for $80 for a $100 gift card. They were going for a short period of time for $75 for a $100 gift card. Let me see what they're going for now. Uber. Anybody y'all have the worst experience with Costco's website? It's so bad. Like, I got to search for things 3 times. Uber. I type in Uberet, and it finally decides to search. And, of course, it didn't get a result. Uber. If Costco didn't have the worst website in the world, it would take over the world. Currently it's going for $80, which is the normal price. But it was going for $75, which is nuts. A really great offering. I mean, I Uber decently frequently, probably like once or twice a month. There are some, we'll see coming up here, there's some reports of people saying that gift cards increase the fees. And I used to say this too, but I'm starting to think maybe not. I think that their algorithms are super advanced, and who the hell knows what they take into account. And I think that there's just minor discrepancies that people are blaming on Uber Cash. I mean, people are going to the extents, we'll talk about this later, but like, you can not add your Uber gift cards to your account, travel a bunch on Uber for 30 days, and then after purchases are made, so like after you take an Uber trip, up to 30 days, you can go to that transaction and change the payment method and then add the gift card, but you're locked into the price you had. So if you want to go through the trouble and you're really tinfoil hat thinking that they're upcharging because you have Uber Cash in the account, that's one way to do it. I went and looked at this. You actually can do it. It's a pretty easy flow in the app. You just got to go and do it. But we'll move on from that. We'll probably touch upon it a little bit later. Also, if you don't have a membership, you can sign up for the Groupon Costco deal for a $45 shop card when you sign up for the $65 or $130 Costco membership. Next, we have a $150 sign-up bonus from Berkshire Bank. This is only available for members of Massachusetts, New York, Connecticut, Rhode Island, or Vermont. But this is an APY of 5% and a $100 referral bonus. And it looks like this isn't a referral bonus, but just a blanket $150 bonus. Let me read through the terms here. So for this $150 bonus, there's nothing to qualify. It just says to receive $150 rewards, you must open a new account, being a Berkshire One savings account, Berkshire One money market account, or a Berkshire One checking account by December 31st. The reward will be deposited to your account by February 28th. And that's it. It doesn't say there's any qualifications. In addition to this, Berkshire offers a Stream On credit, which is a $15 monthly credit for 24 months for eligible streaming services, including Disney Plus, Netflix, Hulu, YouTube Premium, and Paramount Plus. It requires you to have a $2,000 direct deposit into the account every month for 24 months. You only have to do it month by month. So if you have it this month, you'll get the credit. If you don't have it next month, you won't get the credit. I was contemplating going for this. I mean, $2,000 is pretty high, but I mean, you just get a free $15 credit every month, up to $15. If you spend less, you just get what you spent. I pay for YouTube Premium. I get $2.99 a month for YouTube Premium. $7.99 a month for YouTube Premium. So moving my direct deposit here could be worth $7.99 times 12. Why can't this do math? Jesus. Man, they're really making things so much worse. Do I have to use the X for times? Jeez Louise. Windows is just turning the doo-doo. 8 times 12. $100. Not really worth it, but still an interesting offering. So it'd be like $250 if you take advantage of that for a year. All right, moving on. Next, we've got, so I've talked about this in the past with the whole Evolve Synapse brokerage debacle. Duck Credit wound up writing an article on our fintech banks FDIC insured. I definitely think it's worth a read. They don't really say anything that I haven't shared in this podcast before. Essentially, they very broadly describe what happened with Juno and Evolve Bank and Trust. If you want like a TLDR, it's shared there. But they're basically just saying that there's underlying risk that isn't super clear when you're opening up these accounts, that there may be a middleman in between it. And when you're using them as your main bank, just be wary. Dutch Credit does carve out, they say that they think Wealthfront is an example of fintech which they personally are comfortable with keeping with large sums with. That's because Wealthfront itself is a brokerage which has SIPC insurance, so even while the funds are in transit, they have a solid insurance coverage. And you also get a routing and account number from a partner bank, and your name is directly associated with the FDIC partner bank. And then they update and say, others feel that SIPC would not help cover your funds, which are there with intent to stay in cash. See this comment. Let's see what this comment says. This made pretty clear by SIPC that cash that is not used for the intent of purchasing securities is not insured. SIPC protects cash that is deposited with a brokerage firm for one limited purpose, the purpose of purchasing securities. Cash deposits for other reasons would not be protected. So just keep yourself in check. Understand where your money is, what your risks are. I personally use my Wealthfront account as my primary checking account. I do have money elsewhere with Genesis, a large sum, American Express, a large sum, Fidelity, I have some money there. So my money's diversified kind of all over the place. But just keep in mind the risks that are with these fintechs that you could be having your funds with. And I've been burned in the past, so don't take my recommendations all the time. All right, next we have American Express is closing some authorized user cards due to inactivity. Dr. Credit shared this on December 3rd, that some people were receiving emails stating that additional cards in your account are scheduled to close soon due to inactivity. It's nice that they're giving you a heads up if you want to keep them open, but if it's inactive, I don't see why you'd want to keep the account active anyway. Next, user Young Hokum on Reddit shared that starting May 14th, 2025, TAP Air is starting new route services between LAX and Lisbon and Boston and Portugal using Airbus 339s. I'm impacted by this because I live in Boston. It'd be nice to get some easy flights over to Portugal or Porto. So, and I've had bad experience with Tap Portugal in the past, but now I know that their luggage requirements are really small, so I can at least play their game. And I won the dispute. If you want to hear more about that, go take a look in the show notes. There's episodes 17 and 24, respectively. I don't know why I said respectively. It wasn't in regards to particular items. Anyway, next, Built announces that their roadmap for 2055, and Dr. Credit posted on this, and I'll just read a little blurb from what they said. Built has sent out a letter to members for 2024 and discussed a roadmap for 2025. The main message seems to be downplaying the importance of the co-branded card with Wells Fargo. But more importantly, I've been reading and passing along your feedback and requests for the current Wells Fargo issued and operated Built card program. We know you want more premium offerings and always want to earn points on mortgage payments. We also hear the challenges many of you have had with approval rates, credit line sizes, and the need for core tech features like authorized users, pay over time, and auto pay integrations. Some of you have mentioned that your credit limits are too low to come more than a month or two of rent, leaving little room to take full advantage of the card's benefits, especially considering the average FICO of these members is above 750. We hear you loud and clear. These are all things that require support from an issuing partner, and we're actively working on solutions. Hinting at earning points on mortgage payments additionally follows up by saying, we'll announce the first phase of plans in the mortgage space, creating a whole new category of value for homeowners. Whether you're making monthly payments or refinancing, will soon be able to earn points on your mortgage payments. Also seems like they might offer a tier card structure at some point. With guidance from the industry leading Ken Shentalt, former American Express CEO and Built chairman, and Philip Rise, former president of American Express Consumer Card. Man, they just kind of yoinked everybody from American Express. We're building towards Built Card 2.0. This next evolution of our card would focus on tiered offerings that better serve different members' needs while delivering enhanced value through new benefits and housing, spend, and our neighborhood network. There's also a post on Reddit that talks about it a bunch too. I'm curious to see what happens. If they just dump Wells Fargo, that'd be pretty cool. I don't think that either party likes it. I'm curious to see where they would go. I mean, they have a bunch of American Express partners. Maybe they'd go Amex. I don't know if they would, considering this is just bleeding money and just giving rewards on rent. But we'll see what comes of it. All right, next, similarly to the Venmo credit card targeted bonus, there is a targeted promo for the PayPal MasterCard. So it looks like there's an email going out from PayPal from December 16th through the 22nd that purchases will receive 5% cash back up to $20 or $400 in spend. Not a huge amount of spend, but I mean, hey, 5% back on all purchases, that's pretty good. That's exactly what I did for my insurance payments, 5% cash back. All right. Next, another touch on PayPal. So their debit card seems to be having some pretty interesting opportunities. It looks like it's crediting 5% cash back on the tech category, I believe, for the debit card on Pepper Rewards. So if you're not, well, I've talked about Pepper a few times, but if you're not familiar, they're just a gift card purchasing app, which has fantastic deals. I mean, they always have 8% cash back on Amazon. So if you do 8% plus 5% for this, which is up to $1,000 per quarter for the PayPal debit card, you then get 13% cash back on the purchase, which would be, in this case, Amazon. So it's pretty great. I'm still shocked that they're still around Pepper, but hey, they're here. Next, there was an interesting post by Miles Earningburn from December 5th on credit card shutdowns. What happens to the points? With Chase, you get 30 days to redeem or transfer your miles. Capital One, your miles are immediately redeemed at half a cent per mile. American Express, your points are forfeited at the end of the business day. Citi, your points are forfeited at the end of the business day. And Wells Fargo, your points are forfeited immediately. So in some cases, you could quickly, if you are shut down, call them up and get them reinstated or get them transferred out or whatever you want. Don't say anything on Bank of America, which is a bit interesting. Curious to see what would happen in that case. Next, Navy Federal Credit Union has some fantastic offerings right now. I think they're still going on. Let me see if they are. Yeah, they are. So you get a $300 bonus for becoming a Navy Federal Credit Union member and opening up a credit card within 14 days of becoming a member. That's in addition to the bonus that you already get, which has a sign-up bonus of 40,000 points and a year of Prime for free. And that's their flagship card. And then the Cash Rewards card is just 2% card. Is a $200 sign-up bonus. I personally am eligible for a Navy Federal Credit Union account. In order to be eligible, you have to have a family member who served in the armed forces somewhere in the United States. And I have a grandparent who's since passed away, but was serving. And I'm going to see if I can get some kind of document from my grandmother that says that. And you can request them online, but I need a bunch of information about him that I don't have. So maybe during the holidays, I'll see if I can bug my grandmother for some nice nostalgia about Grandpa and see if I can join Navy Federal. That's a great offering. It goes until December 31st. Next, winding down now, I'm using Firefox now, and previously with Chrome, just the tabs would get smaller and smaller for all the tabs I've opened. I open them all up for things I'm going to talk about and then just close them one by one. On Firefox, it there's a minimum and then it has a scroll bar at the end. So the scroll bar has now gone away and now the tabs are just shrinking. In case you were wondering how this whole setup works. 40 minutes in, stop yapping. All right. Next, there is a post from user You Are the One for Me. Oh, how cute. You are as in Ultimate Rewards from Chase, which is pretty funny. American Airlines and Citi extend and expand their co-branded partnership. So it looks like, I think it's Barclays, who was also a partner with them, has lost their contract with Citi, or with American Airlines, and now Citi is exclusive holder of the American Airlines portfolio. Some things to note: Citi to become exclusive issuer of the American Advantage, the A Advantage co-branded cards portfolio in the United States. Seems to tease that Thank You Points and American Airlines transfers. The agreement creates an innovative alignment between the Citi Thank You and Advantage card programs. Blah, blah, blah. Citi reached an agreement to acquire the Barclays American Airlines co-branded card portfolio and begin transitioning card members to the Citi portfolio in 2026. Barclays member will continue to experience the same benefits they do today. So you get grandfathered in. That's nice to know. And in addition, American presently expects cash remuneration from its co-branded credit card and other partners to grow by approximately 10% annually. From the 12 months ending September 30th, 2024, American cash remuneration. What does that word mean? Remuneration? Search Google for remuneration. Money paid for work or services. Oh, okay. Remuneration from its co-branded credit cards and other partnerships was approximately $5.6 billion. A lot of people don't realize that airlines are basically just big credit card companies, and the majority of their net worth is from their miles and reward loyalty programs. There's a great, I think it was a documentary, a YouTube series on it all, specifically about there was a lawsuit with, I think it was American Airlines, where they put for collateral, they put their rewards subsidy of their company as collateral, the entirety of the rewards company, which was worth more than the actual airline itself. Really interesting how that works. Next, just a report that I saw on Dr. Credit that for the Bank of America Premium Rewards Elite Card, it comes with lifestyle credit, which is $150 credit per year for things like rideshare, streaming services, and some other benefits. Previously, it just worked for Uber Cash. You could just load your Uber Cash and it would work. It looks like that's no longer triggering. So when that comes due for me, I'll have to figure out a new way to use that effectively. Next, we have an update from Dr. Credit that's sharing an update from the IRS for the 1099K rule. So this is for receiving payments through things like PayPal. The new requirements for 2025 are phase-in will continue with $2,500 reporting threshold, and then 2026 and beyond, the law will be enforced at $600. So just a reminder, as Dr. Credit shares here, 1099K reporting requirements do not affect whether you do or don't owe taxes, just an informational form. 1099K is not only for big payment processors like PayPal, even shopping portals like Rakuten may be required in some instances to send 1099K. Use of direct payment services like Zelle should not cause you to get any tax forms. Zelle specifically says they're not impacted by this at all. Some states, I'm not reading that. That's about it. Definitely read up on this for tax season. There's a link to the IRS document as well and Dr. Credit. So just get abreast of it or let your accountant worry about it. Next, we've seen this before for a free Netflix from Verizon, specifically for Peacock, which was like an $80 annual subscription. But now you can subscribe to Uber One for $96 and get a year of Netflix Premium for free. If I had Verizon, I would do this. My mom had Verizon. Oh, you know what? I'm now thinking. So my mom had Verizon, had this promotion. Yeah, that's definitely what it was. Had this promotion. I remember, I think like a month ago, or maybe 2 months ago, I shared something similar to this, and I realized that she left Verizon, so she'll have to figure out a new way to like pay for her Peacock and her Netflix. But she canceled her Verizon plan, and she just recently messaged me like, why can't I log into Peacock anymore? And I was like, I don't know. I have written down that you have until like next year to keep getting Netflix for free. But it's definitely because she canceled her Verizon, so she's no longer getting that offering. But this new one is for Uber One. You get Netflix Premium for a year. Netflix Premium for a year, I think, is like, it's like $22 a month. So that comes out to like $250 a year. And if you plan on having Verizon for that long, it's $275 for a year, actually. If you plan on having Verizon for that long, sign up through Verizon, get Uber One, then you get Netflix Premium for free. It does work great. It actually does work. If you plan on having Verizon, definitely go for it. Get some free money. Next, so an amazing post on our credit cards. This is by Ethel. Shout out Ethel, like holy moly. I've talked about this in the past. I couldn't find a reference in my podcast notes to when I talked about it, but Bank of America has the customized cash rewards credit card. That card has variants where they partner with other either like some of them are local charities or are schools, and they offer the same card, the customized cash rewards card, which offers 3% on your category of choice, 2% on groceries and wholesale clubs, 1% everything else. All of that it can be boosted by the preferred rewards status with Bank of America. But these cards also are the exact same card and are impacted by that. So this user noticed that there's a bunch of older posts on Reddit for old lists for like a big conglomerate of all of these cards. And I've referenced this old one in the past from 2 years ago that lists like the Susan G. Komen, National Educators Association, National Wildlife Federation. But some of those links were dead. And then there's one from a year ago that shares some other ones that have partners. But this user went through and made a GitHub for all of them. They've done a fantastic job. There's like, I think 20 listed here. And the good thing about these, as the user shares, is that their limitation for card openings don't apply to these cards. I forget exactly what the limitation is, but I think it's like one a year, one every other year. But these can get around it. You can open up one of these cards. You might have to become a member of some organization to open it, but at least we can understand what all of the offerings that are out there are. Super valuable, super useful. There's definitely ones on here that I weren't familiar with. And also in this repo, they have Elon Max Cash Preferred cards, which I just was talking about. So they have a list of Elon Max Cash Preferred cards that are offered out there that are the Elon Max Cash card, but they're partnered with different banks. So one of them is the Workers Credit Union. There's actually a bunch more that aren't listed here that I know for sure are offered. This one's hard to purely get the depth of because there's a lot of offerings for this. But the Bank of America ones are really useful, and I haven't seen a lot of these before. Like there's a Clemson one. There's George Washington Alumni Association. I wonder if Notre Dame has one. My alma mater. I don't think we do. We partner with, I forget the name of the bank. But there's some good offerings there if you're interested and would like to open the card and get around the requirements. Also, if you just want like a fun card design, you can get it from there instead of the lame ones. Super useful. Shout out to that user. Also, if you have some contributions to give to Reddit, go right ahead. All right, as I said before, I'm not going to super get into this, but actually, this is separate. Chuck from Dr. Credit had a PSA for their experience with Uber Eats overcharging. So this is specifically the use case of you have a promotion applied for like someone picking up stuff at a store and they didn't have some of the items available. So the items were removed from your cart, but then the discounts don't work properly and you get overcharged. And they've had a hell of a time getting Uber to reimburse them. I believe they just can't get Uber to reimburse them. So just something, food for thought. Keep that in mind. Next, the Chase Sapphire Lounge in San Diego International Airport, SAN, is now open. It is in mezzanine level between gates 46 to 47, 11,000 square feet. I really like the Chase Sapphire Lounges. The one in Boston is beautiful. So if it's anything like that, go take a look. Next, Robinhood is doing a Robinhood Gold Monday where if you make a deposit, let me read. You have to meet the deposit requirement that's shown in app, and then you get a boosted APY. I already had this. I didn't get an email specifically about it. I just had an offering in the app, and I got it applied, and then they sent me this, and then I went and did this promotion, and then they sent me an email saying, sorry, you shouldn't have received that. You can't get two promotions at once. So kind of sad, but not a big deal. Next, the Alaska Premium card has been announced. Hat Tip Cleed and Dr. Credit also covered it. It is going to be metal, so I'd love to get that card. But it will launch at $395 for their premium credit card. You can get 500 miles just for joining the wait list, and then you get an extra 5,000 miles if you join the wait list and apply for the card. The card has features such as 3x on eligible foreign purchases, which is interesting. So like when you're abroad, you just get 3% everything. 3x miles on dining purchases, waived award ticket fees, Alaska lounge passes, Wi-Fi vouchers, accelerated path to elite status, and innovative travel disruption program. Curious to see what the sign-on bonus is when it comes out to see if it'll be worth opening, but keep an eye out for that. Next, there's a Park Mobile class action settlement. This is for $25 payment. You have to receive a email about it to be eligible. I received it, but it went to my spam. So take a look in your inbox for subject notice of proposed class action settlement, Baker et al. V. Park Mobile LLC. Essentially, I think that they probably leaked your information when they shouldn't have, and they give you $25 for it. So I went in and applied, and I should be getting my $25 eventually. Next, as I mentioned before, my American Express $350 sign-on bonus. I've deposited the funds and then the American Express emailed me to tell me that I met the requirements, which is so nice. I really like when banks do that to let me know, like, hey, by the way, you satisfied your requirements. You'll get your payment if you keep the funds in. It looks like it's targeted, and right now it's targeted for $300. I was targeted for $350. So if you're interested, just keep at bay. Their APY is currently, I think, 3.9%, and the requirement is $25,000 held for 90 days. Next, as we talked about this before, there's rumors of Uber and Lyft charging more for having Uber credits in the account, or like if you have the American Express Platinum, you get Uber credits every month. If you have that, there's theories that Uber's upcharging. If there's gift cards in the account, they're being alleged that Uber's upcharging. If you have promos available, it's alleged that they're upcharging. It's really hard to track all this. Dr. Credit was holding back on reporting this until he saw some like substantial evidence, but he saw a YouTube video that talks about like riders getting discrepancies in the fares that they're making, which I don't think equates exactly. So this is all really just hearsay. If it is true that they're doing this specifically because you have a gift card in your account, I don't see how that's legal. Like you're being upcharged because you have funds in your account. That sounds very scandalous, as Dr. Credit says. They say scandalous and likely illegal. I still buy Uber gift cards at 75% off. And when I go to call Ubers with friends, we normally have the same prices. I know previously I had some issues. Sometimes I get charged more and sometimes I get charged less. So I do think it's just very algorithm based. And I think it's a black box and we'll never really know what the heck's going on under the hood. Next, there was a lightning deal that's now expired. That was a $100 Lyft gift card for $75 with Cash App. So Lyft was doing a promotion where if you bought $85 worth of gift cards, you get $15 for free. And then Cash App was offering, if you spend $50 using Cash App Pay, which you like link to your Lyft account and you can pay via Cash App Pay, which then charges like a card or charges the balance you have in Cash App, they'll give you $10 off. It was like a boost in the app. So I wound up doing just a $50 Lyft Cash charge to top up my account. But I think you could have stacked the two, so you could have gotten a $100 gift card for $75 off. That's expired, but it was shared on the Patreon since it was like quick. I think it only lasts for a little while. Next, I got an email from Bank of America that they're offering referral rewards for their customized cash rewards card, which I've never seen before. And I attached screenshots in the show notes, and I reported this in Dr. Credit, and of course, they didn't share it. I shared it on our churning. It seems to do pretty well there. From what I know, Bank of America hasn't offered referrals in the past, and it looks like this is very targeted, at least from my reading of the terms. Essentially, if you use my referral link, you don't get anything, but I get $100, up to $500 total. When I click through my referral link, it doesn't show anything. It doesn't say like, oh, you've been referred. It just shows me the public offering. If you do sign up with my referral link, you will still get the public offer of $200 when you spend $1,000 in 90 days. But I guess I might get the sign-up bonus. It'd be cool if Bank of America started doing referrals, but I'm not going to hold my breath. Just a quick highlight. Dr. Credit did a recap. They do recaps like every week, I think, that highlights like some of their top deals and some stuff that they don't make dedicated posts for. But Cardless raised $30 million to continue developing co-branded cards, which I thought was an interesting story. I like seeing smaller players in the game getting funding. I know they have a lot of partnerships that have kind of went to the wayside in the past, like the Boston Celtics one. They had some for some soccer teams. I forget the names, but they're not super promoting those anymore. So they're still working on how to be profitable, but I'd like to see them remain. I'd also like to see the limit being lifted, but that's just me. Along with the Robinhood Gold Week, they're also doing sign up for Robinhood Gold and get a piece of $1 million cash pie. So essentially, when you sign up for Robinhood Gold, however many people sign up for Robinhood Gold will get split evenly amongst them $1 million. So it's from December 9th to December 16th, which is today's the last day. You have to keep Robinhood Gold, I believe, for a year. Let me see if I can see the terms. Yes, here it is. Robinhood will charge back the cash reward from customers who do not maintain Robinhood Gold for at least 1 year following the receipt of the cash reward. They also state that if you meet the eligibility requirements, which are to have a taxable investing account with Robinhood, which is their standard account, and sign up through a promotional offer in-app or email to become a Robinhood Gold subscriber between the 9th and the 16th. Keep in mind this offer is only available to new Gold subscribers who have not been subscribed to Robinhood Gold the past 60 days. If you meet the terms of this offer described in this article, you will qualify to get a piece of our $1 million giveaway, a 1-year Robinhood Gold subscription at 25% discount off of our current monthly rate, and an uninvested cash in your account will automatically earn a 0.5% boost on top of our standard APY for 60 days. If you don't have Robinhood Gold and you plan on keeping it for a year, I highly suggest it. You get 3% match on your IRA, you get a good APY, you get this 25% discount on their rate, which makes it even better. Like if you max out your IRA, which is $7,000, I think that's the new cap for next year, and you get a match of 3%. Damn, why is this not working anymore? You used to be able to search in the little search bar on Windows and do math in there real quick, but it's not working for me. I have to pull up a calculator. Times 0.03. That's $210 in 1 year. It does lock up, I think, for 4 years, but it'll pay for itself back if you A, sign up for the promotion and get some benefit, B, get this 25% discount for a year, and C, get this 3% match for $210 a year. I kind of think Robinhood Gold's a no-brainer. And then, interestingly, in the comments, TJ shared that Verizon Visa did a similar gimmick when they launched. I signed up for the S&Gs and ended up being $411, which far exceeded anyone's expectations. So there's actually a chance of striking gold. For the Verizon card, they were offering, let me see what the actual promotion was. Yeah, the Verizon Visa did a pot of $1 million divided between all those who applied with the card during launch. I do think this will have much less people, or this had much less people that signed up for it than Robinhood Gold will. They only had, if they paid $411 out of the million, that means there were 2,431 people that signed up for the card and qualified for the bonus, which is pretty low. Robinhood Gold, I think, is much bigger than the people that are going to sign up for the Verizon Visa credit card. But just food for thought. You could actually get a pretty big payout. Next, I just wanted to share that there was a $5 promotion for the Synchrony Prime card. The Synchrony Prime Amazon Prime card. Synchrony Amazon Prime card was offering $5 when you use it at Whole Foods, because they now added the ability to pay for Whole Foods with the Synchrony store card. I did that. You get $5 credit for spending any amount of money, spending $5, and I received an email that my transaction credited. So nice. Final things now. Actually, there's a good bit left. Geez. CFPB announces rule limiting bank overdraft fees from, I think the limit was $35 before. Now it's $5. But again, with the new administration coming in, I don't know if this will be enacted or what's going to happen when there's a new person appointed to the CFPB and it's being, quote, gutted. Next, the American Airlines program changed for 2025. They just kind of increased the qualifications for some of the tier. Actually, no, I don't think they increased the qualification for some tiers. They added new tiers, like at the top level. The level requirements were not increasing. Yeah, shared by user CTR 2010 on Reddit. All right, speed running here because my voice is getting hoarse. Chase Inc. referrals are going down from $200K per year to $100K per year. That's the max you can get for referring people. That's crazy if you're making $200K a year in referrals, but more props to you, but that sucks. It's limited to $100K now. Next, Apple's partnering with Apple's partnering with select airlines to share AirTag data to recover missing luggage. I know a lot of people like to stick AirTags in their luggage so they can track them when they're on flights. But now in the United app, as well as some other apps, you can directly link your AirTag to their app. Specifically, United and Air Canada are the first airlines that have this ability. You're able to share it with them, and if it's lost, they'll be able to find it easier because they'll have an AirTag. Super useful. You can get AirTags for pretty cheap. Like a good price would be like $20 an AirTag, maybe less. Like $20 is a good price. So if you see that, hop on it. Chase Freedom Q1 categories were announced as grocery stores, fitness clubs, spa services, Norwegian Cruise Lines. In addition, they're doing an anniversary additional 5% category for insurance and tax prep. Insurance payments and tax prep. So if you have insurance payments, it looks like this 5% will potentially also come out of your $1,500 limit per quarter. It's not super clear yet. The terms are kind of fuzzy, but you can pay some insurance early in that quarter, which is super nice. Discovery had also announced their categories as restaurant, home improvement stores, select streaming services, and I updated my spreadsheet. It's in the Patreon as a source document and also linked in the show notes to show the categories that are often done from Discover in Q1. Looking at it, it looks like normally Q1 is restaurants, gas stations, grocery stores, so kind of par for the course for them. Last few things here. There's a referral rewards program for Wealthfront for specific employers. So if you have a Wealthfront account, you have a particular employer linked to your Wealthfront. They've done some targeted promotions in the past. They've done some for an extra 1% in APY for 3 months instead of their 0.5% if you refer a coworker. They also have one for this S&P 500 direct offering that they're going to be starting tomorrow. And the promotion is for specific employers. You have to receive a notice from Wealthfront that your employer is targeted for this, but you don't have to refer anybody for this. You just have to be an employer there, and you've told them that you are. And you get a $250 bonus when you meet the requirements. And the requirements just say to successfully open a new individual or joint S&P 500 direct account by no later than December 31st. Either identify an eligible employer as your current employer during the sign-up process of your new S&P 500 direct account, or identify an eligible employer as your current employer in your Wealthfront profile setting before account opening and deadline, and fund your new account with at least the standard minimum initial deposit required for the S&P 500 direct account by no later than January 31st. So they don't state what amount is, they just say the standard minimum initial deposit. So this product is being launched tomorrow on the 17th. I'm recording this on the 16th, so we'll see what that is. I'm definitely going to try and go for it. I mean, free $250 and a live Wealthfront, so why not? All right, final 2 things here. We have, if you have an Android phone, you go to Google Play. You can go to the top right corner to see your profile, and then go to Play Points and then Perks. You might see in there some offers for free Disney Plus with ads for 6 months, free Hulu with ads for 6 months, 4 months of YouTube Premium on us. Just take a look and see if you have anything free in there. I didn't have anything, but you might. I do have Google One, so maybe that's why. And then finally, a lightning deal, which is still going on, started today until the 18th for Top Cash Back. You can spend $15 and get a $2.50 bonus. I personally just buy gift cards. I buy a $15 Google Play Store gift card to pay for my various subscription that I have on the Google Play Store, including Relay for Reddit Pro, as well as YouTube Premium. You can play with a gift card balance. So this gets me effectively like an 80% cost, 20% off after cash back and the offerings from Top Cash Back. All right, that's it. I think that'll be it for this year. Thank you all for making this year great. I plan on doing my year summary at some point, probably in January. I'll do a podcast summary, and then I'll always do my spend analysis for the year summary. So thanks so much for the support. Join us over at Patreon. Hit me up on Discord or Reddit or email churnersdigest@gmail.com. Love to chat. Thanks as always. Happy holidays to you and yours from me and mine. Try and spend some downtime with some family and unplug for a bit. It's nice. All right, y'all. Thanks for listening. Have a good one.